This is a Tikka T1x UPR and 22 LR. The UPR stands for Ultimate Precision Rifle. That's exactly what this is. It is incredibly accurate. It's the most accurate rifle I've ever shot, with no exaggeration. Nothing comes close. Holy cow. I'm at 50 yards and those three pretty much all just went through the same hole. Now I have to make a confession. I have slept on 22 LR for a very long time. The ammo is very cheap. It suppresses very well. I already knew those things, but I thought if you have a bigger caliber or you have a better caliber, let's say for hunting, why would you buy a 22? And it wasn't until my older cousin got married, his new father-in-law invited us out to his cabin. We did some plinking, and he sets this backpack down, opens up, pulls out a Ruger 1022, and it had the Magpul takedown stock. So it comes out in two different pieces. He slaps it together, and he's like, anyone want to shoot this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? I guess I'll shoot it. And then I finally started to understand what 22 is really all about. This rifle was just so much fun, and I knew that it's just pennies on the dollar shooting this compared to anything else that I owned. And it really turned me on to the idea of rimfire in general. Now, instead of going the semi-auto route with a Ruger 1022, or in the case of my younger cousin with a really nice walnut stock Browning, I decided that I wanted a bolt action, something that was a precision rifle. I really wanted to use this as a training tool and just see how accurate, how tight of a group that I could shoot. So I picked out the Tikka T1x. I know that Sako and Tikka make very accurate guns. I've had some of their other bolt actions in the past, so I decided why not pick up one of these. Before I owned this UPR, I owned the MTR. The only difference, it's the same action, but it comes in a very plain black polymer stock. Initially, I really wanted the UPR. I did not like the price tag of this though. They're over $1,000. You really can't find them for anything under that. And I ended up going with the MTR, which has a very plain Jane black polymer stock. And eventually I would put that in a KRG chassis. But at the end of the day, I really just wanted this UPR. I finally saw one in store. I of course had to ask the guy to take a look at it. And once I felt this rifle in my hands, it just is so nice that I knew I needed to sell my existing rifle and I needed to buy this. This also gave me the opportunity to go from the 20-inch barrel down to this 16-inch barrel. One of my friends had an FN502 with a dead air mask on it, and it was what you would call Hollywood quiet. It was laughably fun to shoot. Literally, we were all giggling like little girls. It was so much fun. So I knew at that moment that I really needed to suppress a 22. I thought that a 20-inch barrel with a suppressor on top of it would just be way too much. Let's be honest, we're talking about 22 LR, so going for 20-inch to 16-inch, you're not worried about the powder burn or the difference in velocity. There's just not that much of a difference. It's not like doing the same thing with a larger caliber. And having the suppressor live on here, it's just really a very nicely balanced setup. Now, if you're shopping a Tikka T1x and you're really wondering what that huge price difference is between the MTR and the UPR, I'll break it down real quick. So the big difference is this stock. The action is the same, your bolt's gonna be the same, the trigger's the same, adjustable about 2 to 4 pounds. I like to adjust it roughly all the way down as low as it will let me go. You have this adjustable cheek piece here, and it gives you quite a bit of adjustment. And you have this very nice finish on this stock. It's kind of a sand color, and this isn't just a speckled finish. It actually is textured, so it feels very nice. And if you were hunting small game with this in various conditions, you have sweaty hands or it's raining, something like that, it's going to feel very nice. It's going to give you a little bit better of a grip. Now, your standard Tikka stock is going to have adjustable grip pieces to change the angle of your hand. This is not adjustable. It's very vertical, so it's definitely catered more towards bench shooting or prone as opposed to standing up, but I do find it to be extremely comfortable nonetheless. You also have two studs here, So attaching a sling and a bipod is possible, or attaching whatever accessories you want. Barrel is obviously threaded. You can buy T1X rings to mount your scope directly to the receiver. This is a Tally Picatinny rail, and I believe these are medium height 1-inch Night Force rings. This scope has a 30mm tube and a 56 objective lens. So you can see I have a little bit of space here and a little bit of space here. It's a pretty tight fit. You could get a little bit closer if you wanted to, but that's not a problem with this adjustable cheek piece. I'm not gonna be too picky about that. I do wanna go over optic configurations a little bit too. I've had about 4 different scopes on this rifle. Right now, this is a Trijicon Credo 2.5 to 15 by 56. I really like the Credo line of optics. I have a 4 to 16 by 50 as well for my hunting bolt action, and I absolutely love that scope. This one actually seems like it has a little bit tighter of an eye box on it and maybe a little bit of chromatic aberration too. But if you can find one of these on the used market, I don't think you can find them new anymore, but if you pay anywhere from $500 to $700, I would say that is a pretty good buy for that. You're going to want something with adjustable parallax though. If you buy a scope advertised as a rimfire optic, it's very ironic that a lot of them are a fixed parallax. I used to have a Leupold 3 to 9 and it had a fixed parallax, I think at 100 yards. So at 50 yards, it was still clear, but I was shooting at 25, 30 yards one day and the reticle was all but blurred out. I could see the target perfectly fine, but the parallax was non-adjustable and I just couldn't see the reticle. I couldn't dial it or anything. So that was extremely frustrating. So that's something you really need to consider when you're picking out a scope. Find something with parallax that adjusts not just to like 100 yards, but make sure it can go down to, this one goes down to 10 yards. Honestly, even if it'll adjust to like 15, 20 yards, I think that is plenty adequate. And I said that this is a precision rifle, right? So what kind of ammo am I running? I've tried Ely competition ammo and different things like that before, but honestly, CCI standard velocity is incredible. If you try something hotter like mini mags, they're gonna be substantially louder, suppressed, so they're gonna go supersonic and you're gonna hear a loud crack. I hope that I'm not rambling too much. I've done multiple takes at this video at this point, but I've had 2 T1X rifles, and I think I've had 4 different optic configurations at this point. So I've been very ADHD about this build, changing my mind a million times, going back and forth between what I exactly want to do with this rifle. And honestly, I enjoy it the most just resting it on a truck bed or sitting down at a bench and using this bipod. I do have the idea that if I really wanted to take out a varmint in the backyard, I can just put it up against my shoulder. It's suppressed. It's not going to bother anyone. It's not going to bother pets or neighbors or anything like that. But I share all of this because I spent all the money, I wasted all the time so that you don't have to. You can basically apply all this knowledge and hopefully make the correct buying decisions for you. If you do not care about this stock, now you know that the action is exactly the same in the MTR, so buy that, throw the stock away, and throw it in a chassis. Please buy a scope with adjustable parallax, and be conscious of whether or not you're going to only bench rest this and you want like 24 zoom on the upper end, or if you're only going to shoot it from the shoulder, probably 2 to 7, 3 to 9 is going to be great. If you're like me, you want something a little bit in between, this 2.5 to 15 is great, and having a bipod that you can remove and shoot in different situations, also great. We spend so much money with this hobby that it's so nice when a rifle this simple can bring you such happiness and also make you a lot better of a shooter. So I highly, highly recommend owning some sort of a 22 rifle, whether it's the Ruger 1022, whether it is a Tikka and you really use this for precision. You will feel really good about yourself with how tight of a group you can shoot at 25, 50 yards with this thing. With that, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you're into bolt action rifles or if you're really only a semi-auto guy. If you've never shot something like this, here is your sign to go pick something up and see if it's something you'd like. Honestly, I think that's a lot of fun and I think you'd enjoy it.